Chapter 1. A Son Who Was Given to Us. Everyone gets excited about the arrival of a new baby. There was a time when social media blew up with the heading to the hospital pics, followed by the at the hospital pics, then the baby is here pics. The most recent craze is the gender reveal party. The mommy and daddy-to-be invite close family and friends to a small gathering where they revealed the gender of their little bundle of joy in some very unusual way. For example, the future dad hits a golf ball that explodes on contact, spraying pink dust all over the yard. It's a girl. Or the mommy-to-be approaches a bouquet of balloons with a sharp pen. She pops each balloon until one blasts blue glitter. It's a boy. These reveals are videoed and posted all over social media. The world knows that within a few months, a baby is coming and what kind of clothes to buy said baby. So much hype. We've come so far. Just think, back in the day when my babies were born, we sent announcements in an envelope via snail mail, aka the Postal Service. Jesus had a reveal announcement long before it was a thing. He's always ahead of the curve. Without any fanfare or pics to prove it happened, Isaiah heralded to the world that a boy was coming. The timing of this hot-off-the-press declaration was very interesting. The coming child would arrive not in 5 months or even 5 years. This child would arrive more than 700 years in the future. How's that for advance notice? At that time. When studying Scripture, it's important to gain a broad understanding of the context, such as what was happening and who wrote or spoke at the time the words were written. It's very dangerous and, might I say, disrespectful to the authority of Scripture to cherry-pick what verses we want to claim as support for our statements. And so, without becoming too deep and possibly overwhelmed with Old Testament history, let's try to get a general view of what was happening at the time Isaiah proclaimed the birth announcement of Jesus. And you know what? Maybe it's a good idea to learn a little bit more about Isaiah too, the man behind the prophecy. Isaiah's name means Yahweh. God is salvation, which is completely understandable since he was a prophet of God. He lived in Judah, in the southern kingdom of Israel. The nation of Israel, the people set apart by God to be his very own special people, had divided into two. The northern kingdom was made up of 10 unruly tribes, governed by even more unruly kings, men who wanted their own way rather than seeking God's. The southern kingdom was made up of the other 2 tribes of Jacob. Isaiah heard the call of God in a vision. Isaiah chapter 6. Even though Isaiah lived in the south, his assignment was to issue warnings to the north. He was to face these tribes who had turned away from God and tell them of the impending invasion of the Assyrians and how they would conquer Israel. Quite an assignment, right? I think I'd rather sign up to be on the bathroom check team or to co-lead the middle school boys' choir than to be the one to speak of God's judgment to a disobedient group of people. Nonetheless, Isaiah embraced his assignment and is one of the most well-known of all the Old Testament prophets. Despite Isaiah's warnings, the 10 tribes eventually reaped the consequences of their sin and were completely conquered by the Assyrians, an enemy nation. These 10 tribes were never heard of again after the invasion. But the land? The land was always God's. And God is a redeemer of all things lost, thrown away, and forgotten. He is a God of love, grace, mercy, and justice. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, which we will study more in a bit, is God's promise of redemption and hope, and the fulfillment of a covenant for his people and his land.